Most people over 60 are eating fruit every day and still aging faster than they should. I've seen it firsthand. In nursing homes, in hospice, in families trying to do everything right. The truth is, it's not just what you eat. It's which fruits help, and which ones quietly work against you. Some of the most common choices, yes, even ones that seem healthy, can speed up memory loss, spike inflammation, and wear down the heart. In this video, I'll show you 5 fruits that actually protect the aging body, and the stories of real people who use them to take back control. If you're over 60, don't guess your way through this. Let's be specific and let's start now. I've sat beside people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s who made small, thoughtful changes to how they ate, and noticed surprising results. Not miracles, not headlines, just real shifts in energy, in memory, in how they carried themselves. Carl was 74, 2 minor strokes behind him, and every morning he'd lose his train of thought mid-sentence. His daughter gave him blueberries, not supplements, not medication, just a handful of berries on his oatmeal. 3 weeks in, he remembered a family trip from 1974. Unprompted, he looked at her and said, "You were wearing the yellow hat, weren't you?" She cried, and I realized this wasn't just fruit. This was repair. Blueberries are packed with anthocyanins, natural antioxidants that reduce inflammation and help brain cells communicate better. But Carl didn't care about the science. He cared that he could finish his sentence again. Most seniors think memory loss is inevitable after 70. But this tiny change helped Carl speak like himself again. Now here's the part most people miss. Memory isn't the only thing fruit protects. Let's talk about the heart. I knew a woman named Joan, 78, diabetic, tired of rules. She told me, "Every meal feels like punishment. I don't even enjoy food anymore." We tried one thing, half an avocado a day. Just that. No big changes. Within a month, her blood sugar evened out. Her cholesterol numbers softened. But what surprised her most? She felt calm. "I don't panic after I eat anymore," she said. "It feels like my body isn't fighting me." Avocados are rich in healthy fats that reduce bad cholesterol and support blood pressure. But more than that, they reduce fear. Fear of food. Fear of consequences. She didn't just get better numbers. She got her peace back. And here's where it gets more interesting. Because when someone over 60 starts to feel better inside, something shifts outside, too. Joan began to walk more. She sat longer in the sun. She even pulled out her old journal, wrote something for the first time in years. Not because of a drug, because of half an avocado. Let me ask you something simple. Do you ever feel tired after eating instead of energized? You'd be surprised how many people over 65 live with that as their normal. But it's not digestion. It's dysfunction. And often, the cause is hidden in what we think is healthy. Angela, 76, said it best. "I eat light, I eat clean, and yet, after every meal, it feels like my gut wants a nap." She was bloated, gassy, uncomfortable, not painful, just off. She blamed aging. Her doctor blamed stress. But the real problem? Her digestion had slowed, and she was eating foods that needed help to break down. We introduced one simple change. Papaya. 1 bowl every morning. Plain, soft, ripe. After 2 weeks, she said, "It's like my stomach is exhaling for the first time in years." Papaya contains papain, an enzyme that helps break down protein, something the aging digestive system struggles with silently. Here's the scary part. Most seniors are protein deficient, not because they don't eat enough, but because their bodies can't absorb what they do eat. Angela didn't need a new diet. She needed a softer way to process what was already there. And once she did, everything else began to shift. She slept deeper. She woke with less stiffness. She stopped skipping lunch because now food felt good again. The mistake? Assuming discomfort is normal after 70. It's not. It's a signal. And sometimes the solution is a fruit. Now let me tell you a different kind of story, one about blood flow. Howard, 79, had poor circulation, cold fingers, swollen ankles. He said, "It's like my body stopped trusting itself." Doctors gave him meds, of course, But his therapist gave him something else. A bowl of pomegranate seeds. It wasn't instant, but over 6 weeks he began to notice changes. He could walk longer before needing to sit. He could grip a pen without shaking. And he started whistling again. "Haven't done that in 20 years, he laughed. Pomegranate is loaded with polyphenol, powerful plant compounds that support blood vessel function and reduce inflammation. Most people don't realize blood flow equals energy. Blood flow equals memory. Blood flow equals life. And Howard's life began moving again. Not just his legs, but his mindset. What surprised him most? It wasn't just my circulation, he said. It was like I started feeling things again. This is what we're missing when we oversimplify aging. We blame the years. We skip the small, reparable parts. We accept decline as a timeline when often it's just untreated habits. If you're still here, feel free to leave your thoughts below. I read every single one. Sometimes what you say helps someone else more than you know. Tell me, have you tried any of these? What's worked or not worked for you? You've probably heard that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And maybe you've dismissed it as an old saying, something cute but outdated. But what if I told you it's one of the few sayings that's still scientifically accurate? Ruth was 84, lived alone, widowed, still sharp, but her body was slower. One day, she said something that stayed with me. I don't cook for myself, but every morning, I still peel an apple. Why? Not because someone told her to, but because for 50 years, her husband used to leave one in her purse every morning before work. Now that he was gone, she peeled it herself. For him, for her, for the memory. Emotion aside, here's what that apple gave her body. Pectin, a fiber that feeds the gut and lowers cholesterol. Polyphenol, reduce inflammation linked to joint pain. A steady sugar, no crashes, no spikes. And gut health, as you may already know, isn't just about digestion. It's about mood, brain function, immune response. Seniors who maintain strong gut health are far less likely to suffer from fatigue, anxiety, or brain fog. The gut isn't just the second brain, it's the first signal something's wrong. Ruth didn't know the science, but she knew the calm. Her bowels were regular, her appetite steady. She even told me, "It feels like I'm doing something kind for myself." So why do so many people ignore apples in favor of superfoods with labels? Because we've been trained to believe solutions must be exotic, when in fact they're often already in your kitchen. Now let me flip that even further. Let me tell you about a fruit that sounds healthy, but can be dangerous if eaten wrong. Bananas. Yes, bananas. I met a man named Leonard, 67, high blood pressure, taking meds, eating clean, every morning, cereal, low-fat milk, and a banana. But here's what happened. Midday crashes, shaky hands, brain fog, constant sugar cravings. The hidden issue? Bananas are high glycemic when overripe, especially when eaten without fat or fiber to slow absorption. In Leonard's case, that innocent fruit sent his blood sugar soaring, only to crash an hour later. We swapped his morning banana for half an apple with peanut butter. Within 10 days, he said, "I don't feel dizzy at 11 a.m. anymore." The lesson? Even healthy foods can act like poison when matched with the wrong timing or the wrong body. So yes, fruit is powerful, but it's not innocent. You have to match it to the rhythm of your age, to your gut, to your blood, to your needs. That's what nobody tells seniors. They give blanket advice, eat more fruit. But what they don't say is, eat the right fruit, in the right way, at the right time, or you'll unknowingly speed up what you're trying to slow down. And that's what this video is about. Not diet fads, not trendy advice, just real choices made better for bodies that still deserve peace. Let me tell you about Daniel. He was 81, a retired school principal. Sharp mind, steady voice, proud to still live alone. But after a minor fall that injured his knee, something shifted, not just in his body, but in his spirit. He stopped going outside, stopped calling his old friends, and worst of all, he stopped eating meals. "I just don't care about food anymore," he said. It all tastes like cardboard. This happens more often than you think. Aging doesn't always take our health first, it takes our motivation. But when I visited Daniel one afternoon, I noticed something on his counter. A small container of blueberries. I asked him about it. He shrugged. They remind me of when my wife used to take me berry picking. I don't even eat them much anymore. So we tried something simple.
No lecturas.
No meal plans. Just one small bowl of blueberries each morning, by the window in silence. Within a week, he said something I didn't expect. I started reading again. His mood lifted. He began taking short walks down the block. He called his sister for the first time in 3 months. Was it the antioxidants? The blood sugar stability? The fiber? Maybe. But I think what really changed was the ritual. Food is information, but it's also memory. And for many seniors, reconnecting with a part of yourself is the most powerful medicine of all. Now, there's one more case I need to share, and it's different, because this time the person was already declining, and fast. Teresa was 86, late-stage illness, no appetite. Her daughter said, "She's just fading. I don't think anything matters anymore." But Teresa made one request every afternoon. "Just bring me papaya, with lime." No one understood why, but they did it. A few spoonfuls, nothing more. What happened next wasn't physical. She didn't recover. Her condition didn't reverse. But something in her spirit returned. She smiled again, told stories again. She even laughed once, remembering how her mother used to bribe her with papaya as a child. And here's the lesson I learned that day. Sometimes the point isn't recovery. It's recognition of taste, of memory, of who we still are before the body forgets. That's what food can do. Even in the final stretch of life, even when medicine has stopped working, fruit, real, nourishing fruit, can still offer something no pill ever will. Dignity. Now, if you've followed this far, you've seen how blueberries helped bring memory back. Avocados gave peace to digestion. Papayas restored calm. Pomegranates revived circulation. And apples reconnected past and present. But I haven't told you about the one fruit I used to overlook. The one I never expected to matter. Until I saw what it did for a man who'd stopped speaking entirely. That's coming next. And it's probably sitting in your fridge right now. He hadn't spoken in almost 4 months. James, 89. Parkinson's plus a series of mini-strokes. He was still present, but locked in his body. His daughter said, "We know he's in there. We just don't know how to reach him." They had tried everything. Music, familiar voices, old photo albums. Nothing seemed to draw him out. Until one day, during a routine visit, his granddaughter placed a small bowl on the table. It had just one thing, orange slices. James blinked. His eyes tracked the fruit. And for the first time in weeks, he reached for it. That's all. One slow movement. One bite. But the next day, he reached again. And the day after that, he smiled. It wasn't the vitamin C. It wasn't the hydration. It was the taste, the memory, the color, the way the citrus cut through the fog. Oranges stimulate more than the immune system. They stimulate engagement. Their scent, their acidity, it wakes something up. James never fully returned, but he made eye contact again. And for a family that had felt him slipping away day by day, that meant everything. So why am I telling you this? Because so many of us, after 60, after 70, start believing the body is done. That food doesn't matter anymore. That we're just coasting. But I've seen the opposite. I've seen how the right fruit at the right time can restore connection, control, and sometimes even communication. These aren't just fruits. They're small, edible decisions to stay here, to stay involved, to stay you. If there's one message I hope you carry from this, it's this: don't eat for survival. Eat for presence. Eat for clarity. Eat for memory. Even one bowl done with intention can be a turning point. And if you're caring for someone older, don't underestimate what fruit can do. Not because it's a miracle, but because it's human. Because when almost everything else fades, taste remains. And taste leads to memory. Memory leads to identity. and identity keeps us alive in ways no medicine ever could. So yes, these 5 fruits may be simple, but so are most things that save us. If this kind of quiet insight feels helpful to you, you're welcome to come back anytime. I'll be here, with more stories, more truths, and a little more wisdom, one fruit at a time. Take care of yourself, and eat something kind today.